This morning in Living Healthy, we've been stuck at home for quite some time now, protecting our physical health. But how about our mental health? May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so here to help is optimization specialist Diamandia Lingos. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well, and I think that you have some great advice for those who maybe aren't feeling so great. So maybe if we could just jump right in and talk about some of the things that will help when we feel that, you know, there are a lot of these things that are out of our control, beyond our control during this time.
So really right now, thinking about what we can do to think about what's in our control. How do we change our mindset from not thinking globally, but thinking locally? You know, really coming back to, we can't think about what's going on in the state, but like we can really focus on what's going on in our home and our response to external stressors around us in our home. So creating those boundaries like internally as opposed to responding externally.
So do you have an example that you can give us of how we should respond properly?
Really shifting our situation, the home life. So, you know, now that we're all stuck together in home, so how do we show appreciation for each other? And how do we become more aware and cultivate like our exchange between our family unit? Because we're so used to not seeing each other, and we're so used to having external lives and being at work for 8 to 10 hours a day, and now we're stuck at home for 8 to 10 hours a day. And you really learn to appreciate the person or the people that you don't get, you know, the joy to see all the time.
I think that's a great point. Something else that we're trying to come to terms with is that of uncertainty. There's a lot of this unknown. How do you build up the tolerance for uncertainty?
Well, you can't predict what's going to be happening in the future. You really need to focus on what you can control right now. And really coming into practicing some rituals of, you know, gratitude and mindful movement and meditation and focusing on, you know, what can I do in this minute? You know, I can breathe in this minute. You know, what can I do in the next hour? You know, I can send a text message of appreciation to a friend. And what can I do today? You know, I can exercise today. And then, you know, what can I do this week? You know, I can read a book this week. Instead of taking it all on, we really just focus on segments of time.
Yeah, you talk about taking a lot of things on, and I think a lot of people are taking on now maybe a lot of housework, extra chores. There's this pressure to be overly productive. Is that okay? Is that harmful in some cases?
In some cases, it's great. I mean, I think it you know, it gets a lot of steam going and it gets you motivated, but you can get yourself into a rut with it. You know, you can start, you know, putting yourself down because you're not doing enough. Right. And you know, you're not doing it as many things as you've written down on your to-do list, and finding that balance and appreciation for your downtime, as well as, you know, being very productive, you know, staying very active but also being very present. And you know, how can we find harmony between the two things of, you know, overly productive, also like you don't want to be overindulgent as well. You know, you have to keep yourself in creating that same routine that you would if you had to go to work out of your home.
I think you hit on some great points today of just kind of being aware and then turning things into the positive. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, if you'd like to review any of this important advice, you know where to go, rhodeshow.com.